Welcome to Herdley, where books turn into 3 stories, refreshing your knowledge in minutes. Today we study together Andrea Marcolongo's book, The Art of Running, Learning to Run Like a Greek, in which we probe into rediscovering the ancient philosophy of endurance and perseverance, exploring how the Greeks' approach to running offers profound lessons on life, discipline, and the pursuit of personal excellence. Andrea Marcolongo is an Italian journalist, writer, classic scholar, and former speechwriter for Prime Minister Matteo Renzi. Don't go away. Herdley the editor will be right back with the story. In this section, we explore 3 fascinating stories that bring to life the ancient Greek philosophy of endurance and perseverance, as exemplified by the art of running. The first story reveals the legendary feats of the hemerodromes, ancient day runners who embodied the Greek ideal of strength and resilience. The second story recounts the rigorous training rituals of Spartan warriors who mastered both physical and mental endurance. The third story takes us to the intense competitive spirit of the Olympic Games, where athletes pushed the limits of human capability in pursuit of personal excellence. 1. The hemerodromes, day runners of ancient Greece. In ancient Greece, the hemerodromes, or day runners, were revered for their extraordinary ability to cover vast distances on foot to deliver crucial messages between cities. One of the most famous hemerodromes was Philippides, whose legendary run from Marathon to Athens became the foundation of the modern marathon. According to the tale, Philippides ran 140 miles in 2 days, an almost superhuman feat, to seek Spartan aid against the Persian invasion. Despite his exhaustion, he reportedly ran another 25 miles to Athens to announce the Greek victory with the single word "neni kekamen," "we have won," before collapsing and dying from exhaustion. This story reflects the Greek admiration for endurance and the belief that physical feats could mirror moral and intellectual virtues. The Greeks saw running not just as a physical activity, but as a sacred duty that required mental fortitude and an unyielding spirit. Philippides' dedication and ultimate sacrifice exemplify the core of the Greek philosophy that running was not merely about winning, but about pushing one's limits to their utmost, an idea still resonant today. As one passage from the book vividly describes, he did not run for glory, but for the survival of his people, his endurance a testament to the indomitable human spirit. The tale of Philippides sets the stage for understanding the broader cultural context of ancient Greece, where running served both practical and symbolic purposes. His story leads us to another, equally compelling aspect of Greek endurance: the rigorous physical training of the Spartans. Spartan endurance, the agoge training. While the hemerodromes showcased endurance in the realm of communication and warfare, the Spartan warriors took endurance training to a whole new level. The Spartan agoge, the rigorous education and training regimen for young males, was designed to cultivate physical strength, resilience, and unwavering discipline. Boys were taken from their families at the age of 7 and placed under the state's supervision, where they were subjected to harsh training that included running long distances, enduring extreme weather conditions, and practicing combat techniques. One notable story is that of a young Spartan boy who, during his training, captured a fox to eat without being caught. However, when a trainer approached, rather than be caught with the fox, a sign of weakness and dishonor, he allowed the fox to gnaw through his stomach, silently enduring the pain until he collapsed and died. This chilling tale illustrates the extent to which Spartans internalized the philosophy of endurance. To them, physical pain was secondary to the strength of will and the commitment to Spartan values. The agoge taught Spartans to endure both physical hardship and psychological pressure, fostering an environment where young men learned to conquer fear and pain. For the Spartans, the book notes, running was not just a means to an end, but a fundamental practice of self-discipline, a way to achieve a state of readiness that was both physical and mental. This relentless pursuit of excellence in all aspects of life exemplifies the Greek understanding of endurance, not merely surviving hardships, but thriving because of them. The story of the Spartan training system gives us a glimpse into the uncompromising nature of Greek culture, where physical endurance was a stepping stone to moral fortitude. The lessons of the agog seamlessly transition into the competitive spirit embodied by the Olympic athletes. 3. Olympic glory, the ultimate test of endurance. The Olympic Games, held every 4 years at Olympia, were the pinnacle of athletic competition in ancient Greece. Athletes from all over the Greek world would gather to compete in a series of grueling events, including running races that tested their speed, stamina, and resilience. One of the most challenging events was the Hoplatodromos, or Race of Soldiers, where runners competed in full armor, carrying shields and sometimes wearing helmets. This race simulated the conditions of battle, demanding not only speed, but also the ability to endure the heavy weight and heat. A remarkable story from the Olympics involves the athlete Eurytion of Phegalia, who competed in the pankration, a brutal combination of boxing and wrestling. In one legendary match, Eurytion was caught in a stranglehold by his opponent and was on the brink of unconsciousness. Rather than surrender, he used his last bit of strength to break his opponent's ankle. His opponent, in agony, conceded defeat at the very moment Eurytion succumbed to his own injuries and died. The judges declared Eurytion the victor, crowning a corpse with the olive wreath. This act of ultimate endurance, where even in death Eurytion triumphed, became legendary. As captured in the book, in the face of death, he chose not to yield. In victory, he found immortality. The Olympic Games were a celebration of the human spirit, where athletes not only competed against each other, but also against their own limitations. The ancient Greeks believed that enduring hardship in the pursuit of excellence brought one closer to the divine, a sentiment that was echoed in the competitive fervor of the games. The story of Eurytion leaves us with the understanding that, for the Greeks, true victory was not just in defeating an opponent, but in overcoming oneself. These 3 stories, of Philippides' legendary run, the rigorous Spartan agog, and the extraordinary endurance at the Olympic Games, paint a vivid picture of how deeply ingrained the concept of endurance was in ancient Greek culture. Each narrative, while distinct, is woven together by a common thread: the relentless pursuit of excellence through physical and mental endurance. By revisiting these ancient stories, we are reminded of the timelessness of their lessons. The Greeks understood that true endurance is not merely a physical attribute, but a holistic practice that involves the mind, body, and spirit working in harmony. It is a commitment to continuous self-improvement, an idea that still holds relevance today. As the editor of Hardly, through studying these, we can cultivate our own modern-day endurance, whether in sports, personal challenges, or professional endeavors, by embracing the same ancient principles of resilience, discipline, and the unyielding will to push beyond our perceived limits. In reflecting on the ancient Greek philosophy of endurance and perseverance, we see that running was more than a sport. It was a way of life that taught lessons in resilience, discipline, and personal excellence. To further illustrate this, consider the story of Leonidas of Rhodes, an Olympic champion who won 12 individual victory wreaths in the Stadion and Diaolos races over 4 consecutive Olympic Games. His training was relentless, pushing his body to new limits and his mind to greater focus. Leonidas's ability to dominate in both the sprint and the middle-distance events demonstrated not only physical prowess, but also a profound mental endurance, a dual mastery rare even among his peers. His stamina was not just of the body, the book notes, but of the mind, where the real race took place. Leonidas's story is a compelling example of how the Greeks viewed athletic achievement as intertwined with intellectual and spiritual development. His endurance in training and competition embodies the Greek belief that running was a path to personal and moral growth, a practice that cultivated virtues like patience, determination, and the will to push beyond one's limits. By examining these stories and philosophies, we gain a deeper understanding of how the ancient Greeks saw endurance not just as a physical feat, but as a lifelong commitment to self-improvement and excellence. As the editor of Herdley, through learning from these stories, we can aspire to apply the same principles of resilience and perseverance in our own lives, embracing challenges as opportunities to grow stronger in mind, body, and spirit.